Um, let's see here. Somebody wants Kenny. Did you ever watch Infinity Wars yet? And if so, what did you think?
I have not watched Infinity Wars. Somebody remind me what it is. Have you seen it?
It's the Marvel
No, the
Avengers.
movie.
Yeah,
I have not seen it.
All
I'd
right,
like to. I'd like to, but I haven't gotten around to it.
what about the Fear of the Walking Dead mid-season star?
The opener, the mid-season opener? I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty cool that the Hurricanes were, well, not the football team. That would have been even better had the football team come in and played a game against the zombies. But that's not what happened. The actual hurricane come in and was blowing zombies in the sky. Did you see it?
I did not know.
Oh, you need to check it out. Well, I don't want to ruin it for those that haven't seen it, but I thought it was an excellent episode.
Did you give your condolences to the king on Brian Christopher's passing?
I did. He retweeted a couple of things I'd said, and he is taking it real hard. There's a lot of talk right now that Brian did not commit suicide. That I watched the news show that Lawler was on down in Memphis. And this is looking like a real shady deal. It really is. I'm not just saying it because Jerry thinks it. Common sense, as Jerry said on the news show, this shit doesn't pass in the smell test. Well, he didn't say shit, but this is not passing the smell test, and it's not.
Yeah.
The indentions in his neck were in the sides and not in the front, which means he put his hand up to try to stop him from hurting him. Yeah. And they said that his neck was more broken than it was a strangulation. And there's a lot of shady shit going on there. And the sheriff gave Jerry his word that he would look out for him and make sure he was safe. And I think he was supposed to have been jailed by himself, but Brian was playing cards with people and got into a fight with somebody playing cards. When you're the new guy in jail and you got some semi-fame and you've been on worldwide TV, last thing you want to do is get in a card game with an inmate. Not that I know from experience, but other than what happened to me down in Memphis when the pokey got me, but I didn't play no cards with anybody. I stayed to myself. So what do you do?
Have you heard the news of Randy Orton's way of greeting new writers at WB?
No. I can imagine what's Randy doing.
You know, I heard
getting in their lunchbox.
You know what? I heard there's like memes or things going around. I don't really know exactly, but I do know that he's doing. I think he's shaking their hand after touching something or doing something. I don't know. Well, somebody, Earl, you asked that question. Say what it is so we can say what
it is so we know. But no, I haven't heard anything on it. No.
I don't think. Have you seen? You haven't seen the end of Raw, right?
I haven't got to the end yet. All I heard is that the bald-headed guy made a comeback, and he looks like he's put on 10 pounds of muscle.
The bald-headed guy?
Yeah, the one I always made fun of for being bald prematurely. One of the three that were together.
Oh, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I heard he makes a comeback.
What did you had a name for him though? I thought you called him something else, or is that Seth Rollins? You had a name for?
Seth Rollins, I named Jack Double Barrel Cannon.
That's right. Okay.
And he was going to be managed by a midget named Cannonball. That was mine. And Jimmy came up with Cannonball. Yeah. I came up with Jack Double Barrel Cannon because I never could think of his name. So every time I knew that Jimmy had worked a show with him, I said, how's my buddy, Jack Double Barrel Cannon? How's he doing? And Jimmy loved the name. He said, well, that's a better name than what he's going by because he wasn't even going by Tyler Black. What was he called in ROH?
It was Tyler Black.
Yeah, he was going by Tyler Black? Yeah. Yeah. What's his real name?
His real name is Colby.
God damn. Has there ever been a successful Colby in the wrestling business?
Well, that's why he's not using the name Colby.
Well, exactly. But I was putting you on the spot there. There have been a lot of guys, a lot of names used. But you know who would be successful?
With the name Colby?
On a mouse suit, and you name him Colby Cheese. There you go. He will be a riot with the kids.
All right. So somebody was asking, what do you think of
Dean Ambrose? Mouse trap under a basement. Colby Cheese.
So basically, I was asking about Dean Ambrose because somebody wanted to know what you thought of his new look. I think he looks great. He looks jacked. He looks much better. He's still quirky, which I don't like that part of it. I think he's.
I was never a fan of Ambrose. And here's the other one that got me. Someone tweeted what a great job Renee Young was doing on the Raw show, and that he will watch more often. He loves Renee. Replace whoever she. took the place out of. And it was funny that I saw that tweet, because in the first 12 minutes of the show, I was saying, I cannot take much more of this. And I don't have a problem with female announcers. If you can do the job, you've earned the spot. I don't even like her as a backstage announcer. I like 2 or 3 of the other girls a lot better than I like Renee. And Renee on the diva shows comes across as a privileged know-it-all. She had absolutely no time in the business whatsoever, but was trying to act like she was just as important as the Natalie Neidharts and the Bellas and all the other girls that were on the diva shows. I'm thinking, like, who the fuck does this girl think she is? She's not a worker. She is, as they tried to remember, but at least I worked my way to become an announcer. But a lot of times, you know, the Michael Coles and these people that have never worked and never done anything are known as the lowly announcers. Now, obviously, you don't say that about Jim Ross, but when you're the new guys coming up, let's face it, Lawler. The WWE has had a lot of lousy new announcers that are probably good people, nice people, but are just not cut out to be doing the job they've been given. And I consider myself a bit of an expert on color commentary. I've been doing it for off and on for 30 years and continuously for about 8 years, my final 8 years with OVW. And wow. For someone to tweet that was a great job just kind of blew me away. He was a friend of mine too. His name was Chris Mendez or Melendez, something like that. I think he lives up in Indianapolis. Well, not Indianapolis. I think he actually lives in northern Indiana. And so, you know, I didn't bury him too bad, but I just thought that it was, I could do without it. I mean, I'd 10 times rather have a Lawler out there. Fuck, I wasn't the biggest Booker T fan on color commentary, but I'd take Booker T over her. And maybe there's some girls in there that can do the job. She was not one of them. And I've heard some other girls come out and try and do commentary during matches. I think who's Biscuit Butt? What's her name? They tried to get the Biscuit Butt chanting going with her. She's the champion right now, the little bitty blonde.
Oh, Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, Alexa Bliss. I should know her name because my Alexa lights up every goddamn time she's in a match. You see how horrible my memory is? I cannot remember anybody's names anymore.